Hello everyone, thank you for joining Adults ESL Online Learning. I'm Dr. Hernandez-Smith. In this video, we will review the Making the ELPS TELPAS Connection Grades K-12 overview. This comes from the Texas Education Agency Student Assessment Division. This presentation is designed to familiarize campus and district administrators and teachers with the holistically rated components of TELPAS and how the Texas English Language Proficiency Standards, ELPS, in conjunction with TELPAS, supported sound instructional practices for emergent bilingual EB students. Three main types of training are provided by the TEA Student Assessment Division to support ELPS and TELPAS implementation. This presentation is the first type. Number 1, ELPS TELPAS Foundational Training complements ELPS Professional Development Training, explains connection between ELPS and TELPAS, provides thorough overview of how to use ELPS, PLDs effectively in ongoing instruction and in spring TELPAS assessment. Good overview to provide in the fall of the year for administrators and for teachers who will become TELPAS raters in spring. Number 2, TELPAS Rater Online Training, required spring holistic training, rating training for all teachers who rate EB students for TELPAS. Number 3, TELPAS Administration Procedures Training, required annual test administration training for all district campus and campus personnel involved with TELPAS. Includes a recommended web-based training course called Assembling and Verifying Grades 2 through 12 Writing Collections. This overview presentation sets the stage for the additional training presentations below, which are designed to help teachers use the PLDs formatively during instruction. Introductory training on the PLDs grades K through 12, K through 1, introductory training on the PLDs grades K through 12. These training presentations, which are recommended for use in the fall of the year, lay the foundation for web-based training of new raters in the spring. For the purpose of this training PowerPoint, the term emergent bilingual student is used. However, there has been no change to the term English learner in the ELPS. The term EB/EL is used in the Public Education Information Management System, PEIMS. Session objectives. Number 1, to show the close connection between the Texas English Language Proficiency Standards, ELPS, and the Texas English Language Proficiency Assessment System, TELPAS. Number 2, to reinforce the benefits of using the ELPS to teach and assess emergent bilingual EB students effectively throughout the school year. Number 3, to lay the foundation for the spring training of new TELPAS raters. Definitions. What are the ELPS? Federally required instructional standards designed to ensure that EB students are taught the academic English they need for school purposes. What is TELPAS? A federally required assessment program designed to measure the annual progress that EB students make in learning the English language. What are TELPAS raters? Educators trained to assess EB students in TELPAS holistic assessments. Nuts and bolts. The ELPS are used in foundation and enrichment instruction of K through 12 EB students. TELPAS assesses K through 12 EB students. The ELPS and TELPAS encompass 4 language domains: listening, speaking, reading, writing, 4 proficiency levels: beginning, intermediate, advanced, advanced high. Who takes TELPAS? All EB students in grades K through 12, including those whose parents declined bilingual English as a second language ESL program services, are assessed annually. In extremely rare cases, an EB student served by special education may not be required to participate in one or more TELPAS language domains by the admission, review, and dismissal committee in conjunction with the Language Proficiency Assessment Committee, ARD, and ELPAC, or may be eligible to participate in TELPAS alternate. In extremely rare cases, EB students with disabilities who receive special education services may not be required to participate in some component in all or some components of TELPAS on a domain by domain basis as a result of severe disabling condition or may be eligible to participate in TELPAS alternate. The need for such a decision is rare. A student must be evaluated in all 4 language domains. There are no domain-specific exemptions. The decision to administer TELPAS alternate or to grant an ART exemption in one or more domains in the general TELPAS is to be addressed by the ELPAC and ART committees prior to administering TELPAS and TELPAS alternate and documented in the student's individualized education program, IEP. For EB students with the most significant cognitive disabilities, please refer to the TELPAS alternate resources webpage for more information on TELPAS alternate eligibility and participation requirements. For students in grades 2 through 12 who are unable to test online, the student may be eligible for a special administration based on their IEP or Section 504 paperwork. In these cases, students will be holistically rated in the domains of listening, speaking, and writing as applicable. Students must have the same rater for all applicable language domains. A paper test, regular print, large print, or braille is the special administration for reading. For more information on the special administration of an online TELPAS test, refer to the district and district campus coordinator resources. TELPAS provides proficiency level ratings for each language domain plus an overall composite rating. Here's the composite rating: beginning, intermediate, advanced, advanced high. For listening, beginning, intermediate, advanced, advanced high. Speaking, beginning, intermediate, advanced, advanced high. Reading, beginning, intermediate, advanced, advanced high. Writing, beginning, intermediate, advanced, advanced high. The composite rating takes all language domains into account. The composite rating weights are 25% for each domain. Assessment approaches. TELPAS uses online tests to assess 2 through 12 listening, speaking, reading, and writing. TELPAS uses a holistic rating process and classroom performance to assess K through 1 listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Grades 2 through 12 listening, speaking, and writing for special holistic administrations. Assessment timeline. The holistically rated components of TELPAS were benchmarked in spring 2004 and fully implemented in spring 2005. A multiple choice test of English reading proficiency has been administered in Texas since 2000. An online multiple choice and technology enhanced test of English listening and speaking proficiency was first administered in Texas in spring 2018. In spring 2023, a combined online reading and writing tests for grades 2 through 12 was administered for the first time. For the reading component, the test will include multiple choice items and technology enhanced items, TEI, for the writing component. The test will include constructed response items and a variety of other items. Brief ELPS overview. English language proficiency standards were approved by State Board of Education in 2007-2008. Are part of Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills, TEKS state required curriculum. Include instruction school districts must provide to give EB students full opportunity to learn English and succeed academically. Required content area teachers to teach content area TEKS and help EB students become English proficients. Are an integral part of instruction in each TEKS foundation and enrichment subject. Available on TEA's curriculum website. The ELPS add to the content area TEKS and do not constitute a separate or substitute curriculum for EB students. Content area teachers provide instruction in both the grade level content area TEKS and ELPS. ELPS components. A. Introduction. Integrate second language instruction with content area instruction to make content comprehensible and build academic language proficiency. Section A provides the rationale for the standards and their integration into all subjects of the foundation and enrichment curriculum. B. District responsibilities. Linguistically adjust instruction based on student proficiency needs. Implement strategic interventions for beginning and intermediate students in grades 3 and up. Section B sets forth the instructional framework, namely to know the student's proficiency level and what each level means. To use that information to linguistically adjust content area instruction with the dual goals of helping the student learn, number 1, the content area, and number 2, English. To intervene in especially intensive ways to accelerate the second language acquisition of students who are at the beginning or intermediate level in grade 3 and up. Section C, student expectations for second language acquisition, learning strategies, listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Section C contains student expectations that specify what students need to learn to acquire a second language for academic purposes. The learning strategies maximize progress in the 4 language domains of listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Section D, proficiency level descriptors for each language domain, beginning, intermediate, advanced, advanced high. Section D, proficiency level descriptors for each language domain, beginning, intermediate, advanced, advanced high. Section D contains proficiency level descriptors, PLDs, that describe how well students communicate in English at each stage of acquisition or proficiency level. The 4 proficiency levels are described for each language domain. Example, student expectation and proficiency level descriptors. What to learn? SE. Student expectation. Writing. Student expectation G. Narrate, describe, and explain with increasing specificity and detail to fulfill content area writing needs as more English is acquired. Stage of acquisition, PLD. Advanced writing, C. 4. Narrations, explanations, and descriptions developed in some detail with emerging clarity. Quality or quantity declines when abstract ideas are expressed. Academic demands are high or frequency vocabulary or low frequency vocabulary is required. This slide can be used to help show in a nutshell the relationship between SEs and the PLDs. The SEs are designed to be able to effectively be effectively integrated into content area instruction by any content area teacher. They do not require particular specialization in second language acquisition. The PLDs described the 4 major features of each English language proficiency level within each language domain assessed. ELPS TELPAS connection. TELPAS measures the ELPS. The two are integrally aligned. Measuring the ELPS. TELPAS assesses the abilities outlined in the ELPS student expectations and reports performance in alignment with the ELPS proficiency level descriptors. For the holistic administrations of a TELPAS, the SEs are not assessed in isolation. They are reflected holistically in the PLDs. The online TELPAS listening and speaking test and the reading and writing test for grades 2 through 12 do not use a holistic approach. Each test question measures a specific SE. PLDs and instruction. Teachers should use the PLDs throughout the school year as formative assessment rubrics to stay attuned to the English language proficiency levels of their students, monitor progress, linguistically tailor, accommodate content area instruction, and integrate second language instruction according to the proficiency level needs of their EB students as the students learn more English. The PLDs are intended for use in ongoing instruction and should not be thought of as information to use just for TELPAS. Section B of the TELPAS district responsibilities, as well as the introduction to each language domain's SEs, and Section C require teachers to use knowledge of students' English language proficiency levels to guide instruction. PLDs and statewide assessment. For the TELPAS holistic assessments, trained raters officially determine the English language proficiency levels of EB students in the spring. EB students should be making steady progress all year. TELPAS is a summative assessment that documents the proficiency levels of EB students as a statewide spring assessment. Educators assigned to be the official TELPAS raters of EB students are trained to use the PLDs accurately and consistently statewide in holistic assessments. Summative TELPAS assessment. TELPAS answers the following question: how well is the student currently able to understand and use English during grade level instruction? Teachers should clearly understand that this is the main question they are answering when they holistically assess students using the PLDs. Benefit of TELPAS Radar training on formative classroom assessment. Teachers trained as TELPAS raters internalize the PLDs so that they are able to naturally and automatically assess their students' English language proficiency levels during ongoing classroom instruction. Benefit of using PLDs in instruction. Teachers learn to make effective linguistic accommodations in class, which supports learning of academic subject matter, TEKS content area student expectations, learning of English language, ELPS student expectations. Reviewing the ELPS TELPAS connection. Teachers use the ELPSEs and PLDs in instruction and for formative assessment all year. TELPAS raters are trained in depth to learn to use the PLDs for the official purposes of statewide holistic assessments. In-depth TELPAS rater training makes ongoing formative use of the PLDs easy and serves the purpose of statewide holistic assessments. For online TELPAS assessments in grades 2 through 12, listening, speaking, reading, and writing, teachers should be trained and become familiar with ELPS, SEs, and PLDs to incorporate in classroom instruction and use during formative assessment. Assessment information for administrators and teachers. To prepare for the new school year, use TELPAS results to evaluate whether students have been making steady progress in learning English. TELPAS confidential campus rosters include 2 years of test scores and how long the student has been in U.S. schools. LPAC meetings during the school year. Use previous spring's TELPAS results and current year's formative assessment results to gauge progress in English proficiency, plan for instructional interventions as needed, and inform spring decisions about students' preparation in state-required assessments. Basics of TELPAS holistic rating process. Grades K through 1 holistic assessments, listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Teachers determine English proficiency levels by observing students in class. They watch how their EB students interact informally with them and other students, understand and use English when receiving academic instruction and completing classwork, and during cooperative learning activities. The formative assessment process works the same way during instruction throughout the school year. Grades 2 through 12 special holistic administrations include listening and speaking. Teachers determine English proficiency levels by observing students in class. They watch how their EB students interact informally with them and other students, understand and use English when receiving academic instruction, and completing classwork during cooperative learning activities. For more information on a special administration of an online test, refer to the District and Campus Coordinator resources. Grades 2 through 12, Special Holistic Administration, Writing. Teachers assemble a collection of each student's writing from a variety of content areas. Trained raters use the collection as the basis of evaluating the student's English language proficiency in writing. Note that for ongoing formative assessment in grades 2 through 12, teachers use classroom observations and interactions in addition to student writing samples to monitor and promote growth in English language writing proficiency. For TELPAS, only the student writing collection is used when assessing English language writing proficiency. Information from classroom observations and interactions is not used. Note: grades 2 through 12 holistic writing assessments only apply for students that meet eligibility criteria for a special administration of an online TELPAS test. Things to know about TELPAS rater training and administration procedures. TELPAS rater training. It is recommended that districts and campuses determine in the fall who their TELPAS raters will be in the spring. A training flowchart is provided in the next slide. Campus personnel should identify all EB students early in the school year and examine needs for new TELPAS raters. Holistic rating training flowchart. The holistic rater training flowchart and additional information on the rater training can be found in the TELPAS rater training section of the DCCR. Information on holistic administrations will be posted on the holistic administration section of the DCCR and in the TELPAS test administration information, which is available online, which is only available online. It is recommended that this PowerPoint presentation plus the introductory training on the PLD slides available from TEA's TELPAS resources webpage can be used in providing foundational ELPS and TELPAS training to teachers in the fall of the year. Spring training of teachers who will be new TELPAS raters will be a smoother process when they already have this training, have this foundation. Summary of spring rater training process. In the spring, new raters in grades K through 1 complete an online basic training course, which includes a training module for each language domain: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. There is one practice rating activity accompanying the training in which each language domain is represented. For special holistic administrations of listening, speaking, and or writing, new raters in grades 2 through 12 complete the online basic training course and a practice rating activity in the applicable domains. Listening and speaking are one practice activity, and writing is a separate practice activity. All new raters complete calibration activities to ensure that they are prepared to apply the PLD rubrics consistently and accurately. Returning raters have the option of reviewing the online basic training course, if desired, before completing calibration activities. Returning raters who have successfully completed calibration activities at least once are highly encouraged to complete calibration before rating. However, it's optional unless required by the campus testing coordinator. There are 2 sets of calibration activities. For K through 1, each set contains 10 students. Each language domain is represented in each set. For 2 through 12 writing, each set contains 10 writing collections. For 2 through 12 listening and speaking, each set contains 3 listening and 3 speaking student profiles. Raters successful on the first set do not calibrate further. Only individuals who do not rate accurately enough on the first set will complete the second set. Individuals not successful in the second set will either not be used as raters, a district decision, or will be provided rater support in accordance with test administration regulations. For more information about the web-based TELPAS rater training process, More information about the web-based TELPAS rater training process is available in the PowerPoint titled Holistic Rating Training Requirements, which can be accessed from TEA's TELPAS resource webpage. Rater credentials. A teacher, including a substitute teacher selected to rate an EB student, must have the student in class at the time of the spring assessment window. Be knowledgeable about the student's ability to use English in instructional and informal settings. Hold valid Texas education credentials, such as a teacher's certificate or permit. Be appropriately trained in the holistic rating process and rate the student in all eligible domains. There is no longer a distinction between K1 and 2 through 12 raters. TELPAS raters may include bilingual education teachers, ESL teachers, elementary general education teachers, special education teachers, gifted and talented teachers, teachers of enrichment subjects, substitute teachers, paraprofessionals. Collaboration with others. In determining the proficiency ratings of their assigned students, raters are highly encouraged to collaborate with other teachers and school personnel who have knowledge of the student's English proficiency. This type of communication and collaboration among teachers promotes discussions that lead to improved instructional strategies for EB students. To maximize student learning, teachers should engage in this type of collaboration at regular intervals during the school year. At the time of the spring TELPAS administration, collaboration among teachers helps ensure rating accuracy. Collaboration is particularly important when a student has different content area teachers and or is near the border between two proficiency levels. After collaborating with other teachers, the official rater is responsible for assigning the ratings. District validity and reliability procedures. Districts are required to implement procedures that ensure validity and reliability of the holistic rating process. Procedures may vary by campus at district's discretion. For 1 year from the date of testing, campuses maintain documentation of procedures followed. The district and campus coordinator resources provides guidance in establishing validity and reliability procedures. TELPAS audits. The Texas Education Agency conducts periodic audits on the TELPAS holistic assessment process. The goals of the audits are to examine whether the ratings reflect appropriate or consistent application of the PLD's rubrics and school district personnel follow training and test administration procedures. District and campus personnel selected for TELPAS audits are required to complete audit questionnaires and submit domain-specific assessment information to the testing coordinator. Essentials of second language acquisition. District and campus administrators, as well as teachers, should understand the essentials of the second language acquisition process. Understanding language proficiency in social and academic settings. BICS, basic interpersonal communicative skills. CALP, cognitive academic language proficiency. In 1981, Canadian professor and researcher Jim Cummins introduced these terms. The triangular graphic represents his iceberg model and shows two types of language proficiency: social, the visible portion above the water surface, and the academic, the submerged portion. Both types of language proficiency are important for academic success. Students must be able to understand and use English of everyday social and routine classroom interactions, as well as English they need for assessing and negotiating learning, processing cognitively demanding information, and building conceptual understanding. BIC's everyday language needed for daily social interaction are required more quickly than CALP and are often easy to observe. Examples of BICs is listening and speaking, highly routine classroom interactions, discourse among friends in the hallway, between classes, at recess, at lunch, on the school bus, on the telephone, at the mall, etc. Reading and writing, reading a note from a friend, composing reading casual letters and emails, reading bulletin boards, announcements, and other environmental print, writing lists, etc. CALP, language needed to assess learning in academic settings, is the language students need in order to think critically, understand and learn new concepts because complex academic material, and interact and communicate in academic contexts. This part of the iceberg has more depth because this type of language proficiency takes longer to acquire. Examples of CALP: listening and speaking, participating in class discussions, listening to presentations, understanding language used cognitively, demanding explanations, presenting results of science experiments and observations. Reading and writing. Reading a book or article to gain information, writing an essay or story, building conceptual knowledge through reading classroom materials. The argument for academic English language proficiency. There is a distinction between language proficiency as a whole, academic achievement as a whole, and the overlapping section academic language proficiency. Academic language proficiency is not the same as academic achievement, but it is an essential enabling component of academic achievement. EB students who have academic language proficiency understand the English that makes the learning of academic concepts and skills fully accessible. Academic language proficiency therefore provides the foundation for access to academic achievement through conceptual knowledge and skills. Not just academic language proficiency are necessary for academic achievement. Language proficiency encompasses both social language proficiency and academic language proficiency. Social language proficiency is language of social interaction, language acquisition often outside of school, tied to everyday life, and grounded in language proficiency standards. Academic language proficiency is language of content-based instruction, language acquisition mainly within school, tied to school life, and grounded in language proficiency standards. Academic achievement is concepts of content-based instruction, conceptual development, and tied to curriculum in specific content areas, and grounded in academic content standards. This graphic illustrates the second language learning is a cumulative spiraling building process. The language skills associated with a given level are prerequisite to the broader range of skills at the next level. The arrows indicate that language continues to develop beyond the advanced level. This level is not intended to be equal to the English language proficiency of a student whose first language is English. Over time, advanced high EB students understand finer nuances of English meaning, use more natural phrasing, and learn low frequency words, idioms, sayings that are typically familiar to individuals whose first language is English. Students move through proficiency levels at different rates depending on factors such as age, language facility, and instructional variables. Some students progress more quickly in certain domains than others. Some students may progress more quickly in speaking than writing. In addition, students may move through certain levels more quickly or slowly than other levels. Without appropriate instruction, for example, some second language learners may experience a plateau at the intermediate or advanced level. These students need carefully targeted linguistic support to help them attain the level of English they need to make the learning of academic concepts easier. Each proficiency level encompasses a range of growth that has an early, middle, and late stage. Students in later stages of level demonstrate language features that peak into the next level. Students in the early stages of a new level occasionally demonstrate language features that spike down to the previous level. Raters should not classify a student in a level unless the student now performs most consistently at that level. When a student is near the border of two levels, raters need to determine at which level the student performs most consistently. Linguistic domains. This slide shows that the four linguistic domains mean in relation to evaluating the English language proficiency of EB students. Note that the definitions are not tied to academic achievement, but rather to the communication skills that second language learners need in order to use English as an effective medium for academic instruction at their grade levels. Linguistic domains. Number 1, listening. The ability to understand spoken language, comprehend and extract information, and follow social and instructional discourse through which information is provided. Number 2, speaking. The ability to use spoken language appropriately and effectively in learning activities and social interactions. Number 3, reading. The ability to comprehend and interpret written text at grade level. Number 4, writing. The ability to produce written text with content and format to fulfill grade level appropriate classroom assignments. Teaching language through content area instruction. Communication skills in listening, speaking, reading, and writing are at the core of all academic learning. As shown in the graphic, when content area teachers give EB students frequent targeted practice in listening, speaking, reading, and writing in English, they build the English communication skills that enable EB students to develop and/or apply critical processing and thinking skills. EB students need frequent opportunities to practice new English vocabulary and language structures. The ELPS students' expectations make sure these needs are addressed. Importance of speaking and writing. EB students internalize the English they are exposed to much more readily when they actively participate and use language through speaking and writing activities. Having plenty of speaking and writing opportunities in content area instruction is beneficial for all students, but in particularly important for EB students. It helps them not only learn academic concepts of the content area, but also internalize basic and academic English vocabulary. Teachers should not assume that EB students internalize language just by hearing it or seeing it in writing. Summing up. Because of their English limitations, EB students are sometimes hesitant to participate in class and reluctant to try to express thoughts and ideas in English. Through the ELPS and TELPAS, teachers are encouraged to interact more with their EB students and give them the frequent opportunities to use and practice their developing English. Teachers of EB students have a better understanding that the way EB students communicate as they learn English is a natural part of second language acquisition. This helps teachers put students at ease, which in turn helps EB students feel less reluctant about taking risks and trying to express themselves in English. When teachers collaborate, they learn from each other and share instructional strategies that help EB students. Some content area teachers may be accustomed to thinking only in terms of whether students are able to perform required grade level academic skills. The ELPS and the TELPAS help teachers also think in terms of how language development of EB students affects their academic learning and how helping EB students with English supports their ability to achieve academically. Ways ELPS and TELPAS reinforce quality instruction continued. Teachers understand the stages of learning English and how to get students from one proficiency level to the next. Teachers learn to linguistically accommodate, communicate, sequence, and scaffold instruction according to the English language proficiency levels of EB students. EB students learn academic content more readily when they understand the language of their instruction. Caution: communicating with EB students only at their current level of understanding is not sufficient. Teachers must also make gradual and deliberate efforts to move students from their current level of English proficiency to higher levels. The PLDs give teachers a roadmap on doing this. Bottom line: effective implementation of ELPS and TELPAS assessment through the school year helps EB students learn English more quickly and grasp academic concepts and skills readily. These slides have been prepared by the Student Assessment Division of the Texas Education Agency. You are welcome to use them for local training. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was helpful. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.